My husband will come for me.
Your husband cuts hair for a living, sweetheart.
The knife slipped. Blood bloomed across Amara's finger as she chopped vegetables in their small kitchen, and before she could even register the pain, Jae was there. He caught her hand midair, his touch gentle despite the speed of his movement. "How many times?" he whispered, wrapping her finger in a clean towel with practiced precision. "How many times have I told you to curl your fingers?" Amara laughed through the sting. "I'm the nurse, remember? I should be taking care of you. Then be a better patient." His eyes crinkled with affection as he kissed her knuckles above the makeshift bandage. "There. All better." She watched him return to the stove, taking over the cooking without a word. This was their dance. 7 years married, and Jae Sun Okoye still moved around her like she was made of something precious. His Korean mother had taught him to cook. Her Nigerian father had taught her to laugh. Together, they'd built something that transcended both worlds. If you're loving this already, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss where this goes. Night shift again? Jae asked, plating jollof rice beside japchae noodles, their usual fusion. "Someone has to pay for your expensive scissors." She tugged his sleeve. "Besides, Mrs. Chin specifically requested me. Says I'm the only nurse who doesn't treat her like she's dying. Because you see people, not patients." He set the plate before her, then stood behind her chair, running his fingers through her braided hair. It was their ritual. Every night before her shift, he would braid a single strand of her hair, Korean style, tucked behind her ear. For protection, he always said. Amara tilted her head back to look at him. Protection from what? Grumpy doctors. Something flickered across his face. Too fast for her to read. From anything that might try to take you from me. She pulled him down for a kiss, tasting worry beneath his smile. Nothing could take me from you. I always come home. But that night she didn't. The hospital parking lot was nearly empty when Amara's shift ended at 2 a.m. Sodium lights cast everything in sickly orange. She fumbled for her phone, pressing Jae's contact. He answered before the first ring finished. 10 minutes, she said, warmth flooding her voice just hearing him breathe on the other end. Have you eaten? Waiting for you. A pause. Drive safe. Always do. Love you. Love you more. She ended the call, smiling at their endless argument. Her keys jingled as she approached her car, a small sedan that had seen better days, but ran faithfully. She was 3 feet away when the van appeared. No screeching tires. No dramatic arrival. It simply rolled up beside her, side door already open, and hands grabbed her before her mind could process the movement. Professional. Efficient. Terrifying. Amara's scream died as something pressed against her mouth. Chemical sweetness. The world tilted, and her phone clattered to the asphalt, Jae's name still glowing on the screen before it went dark. At home, Jae checked his watch. 15 minutes. He looked at the table where 2 plates sat waiting, the food he'd kept warm slowly cooling despite his efforts. 20 minutes. He called. Straight to voicemail. 25 minutes. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. The message was simple. We have your wife. Wait for instructions. For exactly 10 seconds, Jae Sun Okoye stood frozen in his kitchen. Then he moved. He deleted the message. Turned off location services. Pulled a box from beneath the floorboard under their bed. Inside was a phone he'd sworn he'd never use again. 1 call. 1 name. Hyung, he said softly. I need to come back. The voice on the other end was rough with sleep and surprise. The barber? After 7 years? What could possibly? They took Amara. Silence. Then, give me an hour. The old place. Jae looked around their apartment. Pictures everywhere. Amara graduating nursing school. Their wedding, her in a dress that honored both their cultures, him in a suit that couldn't hide how he'd cried. A photo from last month, dancing in their living room to Burna Boy at 3 a.m. because she'd had a good day and wanted to celebrate. He traced her face with 1 finger. I'm coming for you, he whispered. And God help anyone in my way. Amara awoke to darkness and the smell of mildew. Her nurse's training kicked in before panic could. Check yourself first. Breathing? Normal. Pain? Minimal. Restrained? Yes. Hands zip-tied behind a chair, ankles bound separately. Professional work. Not amateurs. She's awake. Male voice. Young. Nervous. About time. Boss said she'd be out for hours with that dose. Different voice. Older. Less concerned. A light snapped on. Bare bulb. Warehouse somewhere, judging by the echo. 3 men. No, 4. 1 hanging back in shadows. Amara forced her voice steady. I'm a nurse. I have maybe $300 in my account. My car is 12 years old. Whatever you think you're getting, you're wrong. The older one laughed. It's not about what you have, sweetheart. It's about who you married. My husband cuts hair for a living. Sure he does. The man leaned forward. And I'm sure those scissors are the only thing he knows how to handle. Fear crept up Amara's spine, but she pushed it down. Think like Jae taught you. Stay calm. Gather information. You have the wrong person. Amara Kim. Married to Jae Sun Okoye. Lives at 47, Maple Street, apartment 3B. Works night shift at County General. He smiled. Want me to keep going? She said nothing, but her mind raced. They knew too much. This wasn't random. Stick around, because this story is about to take a turn no one sees coming. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? The young one stepped forward, and Amara noticed him limping. Fresh injury. Couldn't be more than 25. Can I get you water or something? Marcus, don't be soft, the older one snapped. I'm not being soft. I'm being practical. Dehydrated hostages are harder to move. But Marcus's eyes said something else. Guilt. Fear. Remorse. Amara locked eyes with him. Marcus. That's your name. Don't talk to her, the older one warned. But Marcus was already moving, bringing a bottle of water. As he helped her drink, his hands shook slightly. We're not going to hurt you, he whispered. Just need the money, then you go home. What money? No one answered. But in the silence, Amara understood. They thought Jae had money. They thought he was someone he wasn't. Or someone he used to be. The old warehouse in Songbukdong hadn't changed in 7 years. Same rusted door. Same coded knock. Same suspicious eye slot that snapped open before Jae finished the pattern. Little brother. The door opened to reveal Park Min-soo, looking older but no less dangerous. Gray threaded his hair now, but his eyes remained sharp. I told myself I'd never see you again. I hoped the same. They didn't embrace. Men like them didn't. But Min-soo stepped aside, revealing a room full of faces Jae had tried to forget. The Bangdal crew. Half Korean, half Nigerian, all lethal. They'd controlled the underground trade routes between Africa and Asia for 2 decades. Heard you became a barber, someone called out. Laughter rippled through the room. Jae said nothing, just stared until the laughter died. Min-soo raised a hand. Enough. He's here for his wife. We all remember Amara. The nurse who wouldn't let Jae bleed out after the Busan incident. She saved me, Jae said quietly. That's when I knew I had to leave. She made me want to be someone who deserved saving. Poetic. Min-soo poured soju into 2 glasses. But you understand what you're asking? You come back, even for 1 job, and the life finds you again. It always does. Then it finds me. But without her, I'm already dead. Min-soo slid a tablet across the table. We tracked your wife's phone. Last signal pinged here before it went dark. He pointed to a map. Industrial district. 3 warehouses owned by shell companies. Could be any of them. Who took her? Still working on it. But whoever they are, they knew exactly who to grab to get your attention. Min-soo's expression darkened. Someone knows you used to be Phantom. Phantom. The name tasted like ash in Jae's mouth. His old handle, back when he'd moved money and fear in equal measure across continents. Back before Amara taught him that gentle hands could be stronger than violent ones. How many can you give me? For Amara? Everyone. Min-soo stood. She fixed my daughter's fever once. Refused payment. Said nurses don't charge friends. He called out to the room. Gear up. We're bringing the nurse home. In the warehouse, hours dragged. Amara had counted the drips from a leaky pipe. Approximately 400. She'd memorized exit points. 2 doors, 1 window too high to reach. She'd assessed her captors. 4 total. Marcus, the guilty one. Older one, clearly in charge. 2 others rotating watch. And she'd started talking. Marcus, that limp. You're favoring your left side. Probably a torn meniscus. She kept her voice professional, medical. If you don't get it treated, you'll have permanent damage. I'm fine, Marcus muttered, but he unconsciously rubbed his knee. You're not. I can tell by how you're walking. 6 weeks of physical therapy would fix it. But you're scared to go to a hospital because they'd ask questions. The older one, who she'd learned was called Stone, laughed. What are you, a fortune teller? I'm a nurse. It's literally my job to notice these things. She looked at Stone. You're popping antacids every 20 minutes. Ulcer, probably stress-induced. And you, she nodded to the third man, you keep rubbing your wrist. Carpal tunnel. You need a brace. Shut up, the third man said, but his hands stilled. I'm just saying. After this is done, after you get your money, you should all see doctors. Whatever you think you're getting from my husband, use some of it for healthcare. Stone moved closer. You're awfully calm for someone in your position. Amara met his eyes. I'm scared. But fear doesn't help my patients, and it won't help me now. Besides, she smiled and mended. My husband will come for me. I just hope you're far away when he does. Your barber husband? Stone scoffed. What's he going to do? Give us a haircut. You really don't know who he is, do you? Amara's smile widened. Then you're in more trouble than I am. Stone's phone rang. He answered, listened, and his face went pale. What do you mean, all of them? A pause. That's impossible. Another pause. Fine. Double the guard. He hung up, looking at Amara with new eyes. Who is your husband? I told you. He cuts hair. But before that, she leaned forward as much as her restraints allowed. Before that, he was someone you should have researched better. Night deepened. Minsu's crew moved like shadows through the industrial district. Jae stood on a rooftop overlooking the 3 potential locations, phone pressed to his ear as their hacker worked. Got movement in Warehouse B, the voice crackled. For heat signatures. One separate from the others. Could be your wife. Could be isn't good enough. Then let's make sure. Minsu appeared beside him with a drone. New tech. Thermal imaging plus audio. We find her first, then we move. The drone launched silently. On the tablet screen, Jae watched it approach Warehouse B. The audio kicked in. Just saying, we should let her go. This is getting too complicated. We're in too deep now, Marcus. But she's a nurse. She helps people. And her husband ran the Bangdal crew's West African operations. He's worth millions. Now shut up. Jae's hands clenched. So they did know. Or thought they knew. Then Amara's voice. Marcus, listen to me. Whatever you think you're getting from this, it won't be worth what comes next. My husband left that life. He chose peace. But if you force his hand, we're not forcing anything. We're just collecting what he owes. He owes nothing. He paid his debts. He left clean. No one leaves clean, lady. Jae had heard enough. He turned to Minsu. Warehouse B. How fast can we surround it? 15 minutes. But Jae. Minsu gripped his shoulder. No killing. Not unless necessary. For Amara's sake. She made you better. Don't destroy that. Jae nodded slowly. For Amara's sake. They moved. Drop a like if you're on the edge of your seat. This is about to get intense. Amara felt the shift before she saw it. Stone's phone rang again. His face went from pale to gray. What do you mean surrounded? By who? His voice cracked. Police? How many? A long pause. That's not police. That's an army. Marcus jumped up. I told you. I told you we grabbed the wrong person. Shut up. Stone was pacing now, gun in hand. This was supposed to be simple. Grab the wife, get the money, everyone goes home. Except we didn't research who we were grabbing from, the third man said, checking his own weapon. Whoever her husband is, he's got serious connections. The lights went out. Emergency lights kicked in, casting everything in red. Then a voice amplified from outside. You have 10 minutes to release Amara Kim unharmed. After that, we come in. Stone grabbed Amara, pulling her chair toward the center of the warehouse. You're our ticket out. No, Amara said calmly. I'm your last chance to surrender. Your husband won't risk you. My husband, Amara said, knows I'm a nurse. I've seen death. I've held dying hands. I've made peace with risk. But you. She looked around at the 4 panicking men. You're terrified. So here's what I'll tell you as a medical professional. Your adrenaline is spiking. Your decision-making is compromised. You're about to make a mistake that will define the rest of your very short lives. Marcus threw his gun down. I'm out. I'm done. She's right. Marcus. Stone roared. No. Look at us. We're dead men already. Marcus moved toward the door, hands up. I'm surrendering. Don't shoot. I'm unarmed. The door exploded inward. But not with violence. It simply opened, and Jae walked through alone. No gun. No weapon visible. Just a man in a simple black shirt and jeans, looking at his wife with eyes that held galaxies of relief and rage. Amara, he said softly. Are you hurt? I'm okay. Her voice broke slightly. I knew you'd come. Stone pressed a gun to Amara's head. Stay back. I'll shoot her. I swear I'll. No, you won't. Jae's voice was conversational, almost gentle. Because you're not a killer, Stone. You're a thief who made a bad choice. Marcus is right. You grabbed the wrong person. I grabbed the wife of Phantom. You're worth millions. Jae laughed. Actually laughed. Phantom doesn't exist anymore. He died 7 years ago when he met a nurse who showed him what real strength looks like. He took a step forward. But you know what survived? The network. The connections. The people who remember what Phantom did for them. Lights blazed on. The warehouse was surrounded. Not by police. By people. Dozens of them. Some in suits. Some in street clothes. All watching. These are the families Phantom helped, Jae continued. The people he moved when governments wanted them dead. The refugees he gave safe passage. The children he put through school with dirty money that became clean in their hands. Another step. And the woman you're threatening? She's treated half of them for free. Stone's hand shook. The gun wavered. Let her go, Jae said. And I promise you'll live through this night. Keep that gun on her, and I promise you won't. You're unarmed. Am I? Jae smiled, and it was terrifying. Stone, I spent 15 years learning how to kill people without weapons. The only reason you're still breathing is because my wife is watching, and I don't want her to see who I used to be. Marcus was already on his knees, hands behind his head. The other 2 men followed suit. Stone stood alone, gun still pressed to Amara's temple. You think you can just walk away from who you were? I did walk away. I built a new life. I became a barber because Amara told me that gentle hands could heal. Jae's voice dropped to a whisper. But you brought war to peace. You threatened the only person who ever made me want to be better. So here's my final offer. Release my wife, surrender, and live. Or pull that trigger and discover that Phantom isn't as dead as I'd hoped. The silence stretched. Somewhere, a phone rang. Stone's probably. He didn't answer. Please, Amara said quietly. Stone, you don't want to do this. You're not a monster. You're scared and desperate and in over your head. But it's not too late. Stone's eyes filled with tears. We needed the money. My sister's sick. I thought. I know, Amara said. I understand. But this isn't the way. The gun lowered. Stone dropped it, falling to his knees. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. Jae was moving before the gun hit the floor. He cut Amara's restraints with a knife that appeared from nowhere, catching her as she stood on shaky legs. She collapsed into him, and for a moment, The warehouse and the people and the danger all disappeared. You came, she whispered into his chest. Always. He buried his face in her hair. I will always come for you. Police arrived 10 minutes later. Real police this time. Minsu had called them the moment Amara was safe. Stone and his crew were arrested. Marcus kept apologizing. The other two remained silent. As they loaded the men into police cars, one officer approached Jae. We'll need a statement. Tomorrow, Minsu said, appearing from the crowd. The lady's a nurse. She's been through trauma. Let her rest. The officer looked at Minsu, then at the crowd still surrounding the warehouse, then back at Jae. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. Don't make me come looking. They drove home in silence. Minsu's car with Minsu driving. Amara sat pressed against Jae's side, his arm around her, her face against his neck. Thank you, she finally said to Minsu. Thank your husband. He called in every favor, burned every bridge back to normal life, all for you. I know. She lifted her head to look at Jae. I know what this cost you. Jae touched her face, the way he always did, gentle despite everything. It cost me nothing. You are everything. Later, in their apartment, Amara showered while Jae made tea. She emerged in his old shirt, braids loose, eyes tired but clear. Tell me, she said. So he did. All of it. The years before her. The things he'd done. The man he'd been. Phantom. The money, the violence, the constant edge of death. And how meeting her, how she saved his life after Busan, had shown him that strength wasn't about fear or force. I should be angry, Amara said when he finished. I should feel betrayed that you didn't tell me. Are you? No. She took his hands. Because whoever you were, you're not him anymore. The man I married cuts hair and packs my lunch and braids my hair every night. That's who you are. That's who you chose to be. What if I can't go back? What if tonight opened a door that won't close? Then we close it together. She kissed him. But Jae? Those people tonight. The ones who surrounded the warehouse. You helped them, didn't you? Even when you were Phantom. I tried to. Not everything I did was bad. Some of it was necessary. Then maybe Phantom wasn't just a monster. Maybe he was a man trying to do right in a wrong world. And maybe that man became someone even better when he learned he didn't have to fight alone. Jae pulled her close, and they stood there in their small kitchen, holding each other as dawn broke over Seoul. 3 months later, Amara cut the ribbon on the Kim Okoye Community Clinic. Free healthcare for refugees and immigrants, no questions asked. Funded by anonymous donations that Minsu swore he knew nothing about. Jae's barbershop expanded into a youth center. Teaching young men to cut hair, but also teaching them that their hands could create instead of destroy. That they could choose different paths. Marcus visited once, after his release. Pending trial, but the prosecutor was willing to deal considering he'd surrendered immediately. I'm sorry, he said to Amara. For everything. I know. She handed him a card. Physical therapy. For your knee. First month free. After that, we'll work something out. On their anniversary, Jae and Amara walked through their neighborhood as sunset painted everything gold. They held hands, comfortable in silence that spoke louder than words. Do you miss it? Amara asked. The old life. Sometimes, Jae admitted. Not the violence. But the certainty. The purpose. And now? Now my purpose is you. Our clinic. The kids at the youth center. That's enough. Is it? Jae stopped walking, turning to face her. 7 years ago, I was a man who solved problems with fear. Then you showed me how to solve them with hope. You taught me that the strongest people are the ones who heal, not hurt. So yes, it's enough. It's everything. Amara kissed him, and the neighborhood watched and smiled. The barber and the nurse. The man who left his demons behind and the woman who showed him how. They kidnapped the wrong nurse, someone had said in the warehouse that night. But they were wrong. They'd kidnapped exactly the right one. The one who could look at violence and choose compassion. The one who saw humanity in her captors. The one who knew that her husband would move heaven and earth, but trusted him to do it without losing his soul. As they walked home, past the clinic where Amara healed and the barbershop where Jae taught, the sunset seemed to whisper a truth that needed no words. Sometimes love doesn't destroy us. Sometimes, if we're very lucky, it rebuilds us into something stronger than we ever imagined possible. If this story moved you, if it made you believe in second chances and the power of love, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me what you thought. And share this with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to choose who you want to be. Because that's the real story here, not that Phantom saved his wife, but that Amara saved him first, long before anyone took her. She saved him by showing him that gentle hands can be the strongest weapons of all. The end came not with violence, but with choice. And every day after, Jae Sun Okoye chose the man Amara Kim helped him become. Every single day.